We live, baby. What's up? In- Yo, we live, baby. What's up? Independent Comedy Club, man. Quarantine edition. We're doing the interviews. We got Andy Iwancio tonight. Big John. Andy Iwancio, what up? That's who I was looking for. Okay, so this is my first time doing this. Um, so we're going to figure this out. I sent you a request to be on your live. So I think I'm supposed to hit that. Go live with Andy. Can y'all hear me? Connecting. Yo.
How's it going?
Yeah, how are you?
Okay. Just chilling in this office. Can you hear me okay?
I can. You got a whole office?
Yeah, I'm using my coworker's office. I'm like essential worker, so I'm still working and shit. So
What kind of essential jobs you got that has an office?
I have I work out in the warehouse. I'm up here in the up front. I work at a vitamin website. So we've been super fucking busy.
A vitamin website?
Yeah.
What kind of
I'm
vitamin?
not gonna name it. I'm not getting paid for any sort of sponsorship.
All right, can you tell us what they do at least?
It's I can tell you.
No,
I mean,
you don't want to. You don't have
it's
to.
a vitamin health food supplement website, and I work in the warehouse doing shipping and receiving. I've worked in warehouses my whole life, so
Yeah.
it's just a shipping job.
You got anything for penises down there? People that want to know out there, right? They need
You know, it's weird because like the stuff that's supposed to be good for like ED as they call it, they're supposed to like that's what they call erectile dysfunction. Like as if shortening arousal wasn't already the problem.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like, oh, I'm having trouble downstairs with what?
With Ed, yeah.
I I also enjoy when like whenever you hear about that on like websites and stuff on podcasts, they're like it's shipped in a conspicuous box that doesn't let people know what's going on. Like
Right.
what? Dick pill is coming in a box that's covered in dicks.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're just sending you like dildo shaped containers. Like,
Yeah.
that's for that.
As if when we send dildos in the mail, they're just tightly wound, so you can tell exactly what they are.
All the neighbors like, oh, this bitch horny tonight. All right. Well, anyway, we can probably tell the people, Andy Iwancio, thank you for joining us. Let's see, I don't remember. I was at the show, but you had a great show at the Independent, and hope you had fun. Where are you from again?
I'm in Seattle. Pardon. I'm trying to find a good way to put this, so I apologize if anybody's getting seasick. I don't work on a boat. I'm originally from Baltimore. But I've been living in Seattle for the last like 12 years, I think. 12 years, something like that.
Shout out to the so you work in a city where the devil's headquarters is, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to work in Seattle and not in some way support or rely on Amazon to a certain extent.
That's crazy.
That's kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like hating cars and living in Detroit, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it sounds like it. So how you? Go ahead.
Getting to see those roads, getting to see the mile roads, like, because I don't drive, so I was walking around Detroit, and like getting to see how wide those fucking streets are ridiculous. They're so wide.
Yeah,
I did not.
The big 8 Mile is a big street. It's not just a rap boost that Eminem can, you know what I'm saying? It's a big street. You
I
know,
like crossed the street and there was a finish line. It turned out I like walked a 1K by just hitting
yeah.
the stoplight.
It's a Myers, a couple pawn shops, it's mad strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? So
I went to the what's it? Oh, what thrift store? Is it Thrift World? Yeah, it's Thrift World, isn't it?
I'm
Or
I'm not from here either, so I just
uh
yeah, but
oh, I went to one and the plus size women's section was called Queens, and I
mhm.
fucking love that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
nice, hell
but
yeah. Shout out to
but
the
I'm
Bronx.
originally from Baltimore. I've been living in Seattle for the last like 12 years and stuff. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Chicago, so
Oh,
I grew up in a suburb called South Holland, Illinois. I'm one of those people that say I'm from Chicago until people actually ask, but I grew up like probably like half hour from downtown or whatever, but like right outside of the city, and then yeah, I moved out here 2017. So
2017.
2017. I ain't started doing comedy till I moved to Michigan. So yeah. What about you? Did you start comedy in Seattle or were you doing it in Baltimore?
I started in Seattle. I started like I tried it for the first time in 2007,
Okay.
and then like did it for a couple years. Then I like took a break because I wasn't
Yeah.
out as like I came out as trans like somewhere in there, or I was closeted, and that was
Hmm.
kind of like taking up a lot of my headspace. I think a lot of like closeted people, like queer people or trans people or bi people, will tell you there's like so much of your time that's being taken up by just trying to compartmentalize. I can't even say that.
Compartmentalize.
There we go. Look at
Compartmentalize,
you.
like, yeah.
So you're obviously bigger professional. You have better lighting. I look like I broke into this office.
Sorry, pause.
Uh
Just because I got this weak ass light right here. That's, you know what I'm saying? I got a little office too, but
oh, that's
uh,
nice.
yeah, you
I'm
know,
in
shout out to
somebody's office.
unemployment been
Um,
buying us stuff like lights and desks. You know what I mean? So shout out to Marvin. But
uh, but I started in like 2007. I took a
okay,
break, then I came back, and I've just been hammering it for about like I don't know, like 7 or 8 years now. So
hmm,
like 10 total, but over time. So yeah,
yeah.
that
So it's like a
is.
total of 10 years. Like, you know, yeah, just
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah,
It's like an on and off relationship type. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. We hooked up drunkenly for a while, and I'm trying not to do that too often anymore. We're trying to have a stable relationship, talk to each other
Yeah.
in time, and like that's working out okay. But
Comedy's fucking a lot of people, dude. He on and off with you, on and off with me. It's like, damn, man, you got a long roster of motherfuckers.
but there's the first time I did comedy though was in grade school. I
Really?
did a third grade talent show where I did stand up comedy.
Hmm.
There's a clip online. There's me doing a bunch of Stephen Wright jokes that my dad taught me because my dad had like
Really?
a good, like grew me up on good shit. Grew me up on Monty Python and Stephen Wright and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff like that. But like, I did he taught me some jokes. My first joke on stage was I just flew in and boy are my arms tired. That's
Yeah.
the joke I ever said on stage, and I'm
How'd it
like in
go?
third place. I got third place. I tied third place with this
Third
Irish
place.
jig
Okay.
dancing.
It's
But
like it's like I was almost trash, but I wasn't.
yeah, I had like my dad had the clip. It's online. You can
Tell people where they can find it. I want to
terrible.
watch it.
Yeah,
Or no?
you can watch it. It's terrible. I have a Steve Urkel impression.
Oh yeah. Can you still do it or no?
What's that?
Can you still do it?
No, I'm not going to.
Oh no. Oh.
I feel like I can't live up to my past work. Besides the fact I was like 8 and it's
Yeah.
adorable. But
Yeah.
like I'm not even sure if it's cultural appropriation or not.
To do a Steve Urkel impression. You know how long ago Steve Urkel fell off? You know, it's not appropriation no more. You good. I give you okay. As the black dude interviewing you, yo, Urkel, if you can
Are
hear
you
this
saying?
out there.
Well, it's too bad. I already came out as a trans woman, so I canceled myself.
All right, for sure.
I canceled my 8-year-old self for that.
So you did comedy and when you were 8 for the first time. What was it? What was it about stand up that like kind of like drew you to doing that? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, why didn't you sing or like, you know, why? What was it? Why comedy?
I love comedy my whole life. I just growing up, I think it's your standard yarn when you're talking to people is that like growing up in like a really weird, dysfunctional, huge family. Like
Hmm.
that's what we could agree on was not talking about our problems, but making each other laugh. And that's
Absolutely.
it's so much about being in a shitty place and trying to make each other laugh. And that's really like that's my family. That's also like Baltimore. And
Hmm.
like just like growing up in a rough place, you kind of have to like take your mind off of things, and uh, it helped, and it was shorthand in our family, just making each other laugh, and then uh, I stuck with it. How making people laugh, it feels good and shit.
For sure. Yeah. So did you? So you grew up in Baltimore. A lot of people probably view Baltimore like they view Detroit, like everything's plight and whatever. Did you grow up like that? Did you grow up suburban? Did you grow up like kind of middle, lower, upper,
I
whatever?
I always do that thing where I almost always do that thing when somebody says they're from Baltimore, and I'm like, uh, I'm when they say they're from Baltimore, I'm like, where are you from? Where's the county line? That kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
Especially when they have an opinion about Baltimore being violent. I'm always especially doubtful when people say it. They'll be like, "Oh, Baltimore is violent," and I'm like, you live there? And they're like, "Yeah, I lived well in the kind of in the county." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's not." I've been riding the bus in Baltimore. I've gone to public schools most of my I've gone mostly to Baltimore public schools and like ridden the bus. Like I've ridden the bus through Baltimore and it's rough, but I think that the other thing is like it's not because of the people are doing what they need to do to get by, and I can't
Exactly.
blame anybody for that, especially when like it's so oppressed. It's so
Yeah.
clear, and the same way with Detroit, it's so clear
Right.
that there's so much that could be done from above. Baltimore is more corrupt, like Chicago is more corrupt, and it's really the fucking police that are terrible.
Absolutely. You ever wonder like what makes a city rough? It's like I went, I just rode the bus like everybody else and went to school. Like what's, you know, like why is my
I
neighborhood so like rough? You know what I mean?
I love
Like I got in
sketchy.
fights in the suburbs too. You know what I mean? Like why is it yours is so rough just because you got a dollar store in yours and I have a Chipotle? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
You know,
And then
like
like me and my partner and I are both from Baltimore, and so like we've been rewatching The Wire, and the way that
yeah.
we watch The Wire is different than other people watching The Wire.
Oh, you
Other people,
understand? Oh, it's like damn, that's
I I
around the block from my house.
I was paused one and trying to point out the scene because like they like I know the neighborhoods, and I'm always like,
Mhm.
oh, I used to catch the bus on that street
Yeah,
corner.
and
But
that's what they was doing. They was selling crack rock over there while you was
I you know I think the other thing is that like the Wire's written to be was written by a dude who'd done stuff for a long time, so it's like written all together, but like each one of those events probably happened like years apart, and so the
okay.
idea that like that there's a of of plague of violence upon Baltimore that makes it inhospitable is a, a lie, but
Yeah,
at the same time, I'm not out to like tell people about it because it's still affordable.
yeah, I
Like it's
bet.
always in my mind to go back there and do comedy there and just exist there. It's always in the back of my mind to do it and do like cool. I'm also DJed for about 20 years,
Oh
and
yeah.
so
Uh-huh. I forgot you
I,
DJ. Yeah.
I've been DJing for teaching DJing for the last 10, and like the idea of teaching DJing at the high school that I went to is kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
like
It's
um
cool that you're teaching DJing because people can see that as a legitimate career path. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
people
and
kind of
also it's
look at arts and stuff like doing what we do as far as comedy, DJing, rapping, making music, whatever. They don't see that as a legitimate career path, even though there's people making millions of dollars doing it. So like it's pretty sweet.
oh yeah, and it's absolutely I like the history of like hip hop and I like the history of regional club sound specifically. I mean, Baltimore has its own, and then you have like, and then like the Midwest has its own, and
Hmm.
I like that kind of finding out about those like scenes has also been interesting while going around and doing comedy and touring a
Yeah.
little bit.
So you
Uh,
so how's like the Baltimore like comedy scene out there? Is it like
it's
would
scrappy. It's really like how much
Ravi,
it's
yeah, be like how what do you mean?
super scrappy in that like there's so many people there. I mean, Detroit, y'all know this. The Ant knows this. It's like
Hmm.
the like that people wanted to get together and put together something. Like Baltimore has something called the Charm City Comedy Project, and it's like a improv comedy space out of like an upstairs bar
Yeah.
in Baltimore, and like they've really done amazing things with it. And there's like an actual scene, and there wasn't a scene when I left Baltimore. It was like one comedy factory, I think,
Really?
like 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So what made you go to all the way to Seattle?
I had friends from here, friends I'd met DJing and stuff, and really that was like the main reason to move here. Just hang with those folks, because DJing, I like DJ mostly. I like put on raves for a bunch of years,
Hmm.
and like this is one of the Seattle's like one of the untouched scenes in terms of like kids are really into rave music, and they've been into
Yeah.
rave music here decades and
Hmm.
untouched in terms of like other places. But anyway, ramble, DJ.
Seattle, where all the Molly at. That's where if y'all listening, the Molly and the cocaine is in Seattle, Washington.
What
You
are you putting? You're putting all of this on. I do not. I worked for harm reduction. I worked for dance
hold on,
safe and
sorry,
stuff.
man.
So
But yeah, I'm not judging if you working rave parties and you want to do a little Molly, yeah, shit ain't gonna kill you. Little
no
Molly
comment.
ain't hurt nobody. You know what I mean? Little
No
cocaine.
comment.
Okay, for
No
sure.
comment.
But
I am
no,
at
so you're doing rave parties in Seattle, and you were doing that for how long? You said? I'm sorry.
just off and on for like again another like 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Like putting on shows, and we do them occasionally now, but we're I don't know. We're old. We're old.
Mhm.
How
Did
old
you
are
ever make?
you?
I'll be 30 in October. I'm 29 right now, so
Okay. Yeah,
I'm getting up there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I might got a little gray hair somewhere, but I'm getting up there. You know.
I'm 38. I turned 38 in March, but
Hell yeah! Happy belated. Right when the COVID happened. It was your birthday.
thanks. You
No.
shouldn't have.
How you been? How's the lockdown been treating you? I mean, obviously you're an essential worker, like you said, but is there anything like has your life even changed much, really, or
Um, I miss comedy, but I don't miss comedy, but I miss comedy. I
okay?
think it's one of those things where like there's like it sucks to not be able to go out and do it all the time, but at the same time nobody else is.
Hmm.
So it's
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
those things where you can't be jealous about other people. What are you going to be jealous because somebody else did a Zoom show last night? What the fuck?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like I'm not missing nothing. You know.
Oh yeah, like you're gonna like you saw like four other faces on a screen doing that weird millennial Brady Bunch shit. Like you're supposed to
Yeah.
be jealous of that. Like
It
you're
literally
supposed to
looks
be
like a
jealous.
Brady Bunch.
I'm sorry, but don't like I like somebody doing a Zoom show and be like, yeah, I had a good Zoom show. Like trying to brag about that is hilarious because there's
Yeah.
like you can never people are there, and also it just looks like you're in an awkward family photo album. Like it's
Yeah.
just
You're in
it's
the
like
middle of a
this.
bit and your thing freezes and they're like, "What? Oh, what? Yeah." So I said
I
sidewalks are weird. You know, it's just like, all right, bro, this is stupid.
I
So,
but having like I said, had a huge break from comedy. So like having a break and just means I can pivot to another creative thing. And I've been DJing more. I've been doing a
yeah.
live show, 2 hour 2 hour sets every Saturday and Sunday,
Oh
like
yeah.
just on Instagram Live,
Hell
and
yeah.
that's been really rad. And I like did a bunch of online shows, and it was really actually really rad because like I know people all over the country, so friends of mine and family of mine who'd never seen me do comedy got to see me do comedy on Zoom like
Yeah.
over the last like few months, and like that's been rad. So you kind of
Absolutely.
have to be optimistic, but there's like
I've
a
I've seen some of those like live DJ shows. They seem like they get a lot of traction. So I mean, people would rather watch that than watch a dude fucking go through their
oh,
bits on fucking Instagram line, you know? So,
I'm still hamming it up. I what I end up doing is like playing a song and like talking about it and just
mhm.
like talking about the history of like a song and being like, oh, this was made by this group, and when you hear them mention it in the song, this is what they're like, goofy teacher shit. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I get it.
uh,
So would you rather so if it came down to like comedy or DJing as far as like that's all I do for a living, like which one would you rather do?
comedy
For sure.
by
Yeah.
far.
Why is that?
My hearing, your hearing deteriorates.
Yeah.
Doing DJing, and like I had to take breaks, and that's the part of the other reason. Not like I have epilepsy, so staying up late at
Oh
night I
yeah.
can't do anymore. I
Hmm.
just get like I'm old.
That's a that's a weird profession choice for an epileptic as a DJ,
I know it's
you know?
you that almost tease up a joke of mine, but like having it's also like I have social anxiety, so doing comedy is also awkward.
Absolutely, yeah. For
So
sure.
like I don't, but
Depressing.
I kind of like I like DJing in the daytime more than I like DJing at night. Like I
Really?
like the idea, like waking up in the morning and going and listening to dance music. So many times when you hear people, they're like, "Oh, I used to listen to dance music, but then I stopped doing drugs." I'm like, "You just didn't like the music, so you had to take enough drugs to like it."
Right.
That's like me and cocaine and any famous comedian I've ever met.
Exactly. It's like you suck, but since I did a few bumps, I'm still talking to you for some reason.
Jesus, I know. I'd like I just I don't like when people have to like make that be the thing.
They make
Like
that excuse like, "Oh, this music's great when you're on Molly." It's like, that
but
means this music isn't great.
but
Because
then
most of
again
the time
like
I'm not on Molly.
like I guess it also does mean like there are the times when people are like I flip side of that would be somebody being like, "Oh yeah, I saw a comedy once. I was in an open mic. Yeah, I haven't seen comedy again."
Yeah.
They saw like one open mic and
Yeah, they're just like, I'm done. And it's
they'll
like, who
never
can
see
blame
jokes in person again.
them? That's hilarious, man. But but yeah, man, that's interesting. Yeah, so you're DJing, you're doing comedy. Did you ever do you ever make like your own music or anything? Like you ever start rapping or something? You ever you got some mixtapes out there that people need to know about? What you got at the gas station?
Um, I've started wandering around like trying to do music stuff this time, but like um for the most part I've been just putting out mixes more often and like but I've like no want to really like make music. I really, I don't
Just
know.
kind of doing it for fun, and you got more time now, so that's pretty
I
much.
yeah, I really like scratching and cutting, like teaching myself more like turntablist techniques and like applying those to applying that to like the way I mix has been a big thing, but I've started using audio of material comedy and putting it over beats
Oh,
and
nice.
making like weird little mixtapes of that kind of thing. And that I actually am kind of trying to do because I like
Yeah,
went by a different DJ name and now I'm just going by my name so that I can kind of promote the two at the same time. Because the idea of like doing a comedy show and then getting to DJ a dance party right after in the same place is so fucking cool. I
yeah,
really want to
absolutely.
make that.
Hmm.
Uh, I think
It
that's
does sound
more
sweet.
than like a living.
Yeah. So, like, if there was like some type of uh, what's the word? Like destination goal. I don't know. No one really knows like where they're trying to go with any of this shit, really. But like,
I
do you have like an idea of like if I get here, I've made it? You know what I mean? Like what would that what's that look like for you?
most of the goals I've ever had were like just kind of going and getting to tour and do comedy is pretty rad.
Yeah,
And like,
you're already doing that though. So
well, I mean, like
wait,
that was kind of my thing was though, like I've never really had a want to do. I don't want to do this for a living.
okay,
Like I like it because I like to do it, and I think they say that to a certain extent. If you're not willing to do comedy for free for the rest of your life, then there is something to that, and not wanting, not really being into it for that sake. I
right.
don't think that's true all the time, but like,
Yeah, people
I,
are in it for different reasons. So yeah, I mean, I get it. This shit gets
but like
depressing
I
sometimes.
like not having a job right now. And when I saw all of my friends who like, I guess part of that is like when I see people like lose work as comedians who are doing it for a living, they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, yep, it's a good thing I didn't believe in myself that I could make a living at this. Good thing I
Right.
had that foresight to doubt myself. Good. I didn't get cocky about it. Didn't try to make
Exactly.
money on it. These fools. They should have
Right.
not believed in themselves so much.
Exactly. Now look at you, out of work, trying to call Marvin for unemployment because you believed in yourself.
It's exactly that. It's
Trying to turn in
exactly
1099s. We talking, showing them that you made $200 last month because you believed in yourself.
that.
But
You
no,
think you're
that's. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's all good.
So, so you're not really trying to like. You just want to kind of tour and you know just be able to make a living. Obviously, we can't do that right now. So like, you know,
There's like all my goals have been more like I'd like to do this one thing, and it's almost never anything that's like monetary or attainable.
right?
Like I wanted to do a specific show at the UCB in LA. It was Put Your Hands Together. And it
Okay.
was a show I really listened to all the time. Even when I stepped away from comedy, it was a podcast and a show that it like really helped me through the periods where I wasn't doing comedy and kind of was what helped like push me back towards it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to do that about a year, I think like I think about a year and a half ago, I got to do
Okay.
it. So I got
Nice.
to go on the UCB stage, which was a huge, that was one of my goals. And then like
Hmm.
getting to do that podcast was great. And
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely. That sounds sweet.
thanks. And like, I think my only other goal, I would love to do a show at Largo. It's a theater in LA. It's
Hmm.
just a show. It's like a theater that has always like stood out to me as having great programming and great people on that stage. And like,
So how
that's
does,
been a goal.
I mean,
Um,
if you don't know, like, or if you do know, I don't know, but how does one get on a show like that? Do you have to like audition or like how does that?
it's, I mean, the thing is just hammering it out and being visible in a lot of places. And
Yeah.
I think that really just like I still took it super serious. I opened for Cameron Esposito a little
Yeah.
bit before that, and that was another key thing. But also like, but really just getting around to go around and like go to small scenes and travel the country, like getting to do like the independent. Like I know the Ant Complex obviously, and
Hmm.
like to do it was really rad. And then
Yeah.
like I knew about Hamtramck from knowing about Hamtramck Disneyland. I knew about
I'm at
that.
Disneyland. What do you mean? What is that? I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a thing from. It's like a couple blocks away from the Independent. Some crazy old dude made something in his yard, and his neighbors hated it, but then it became famous. So they
I live
like
in
there's
Hamtramck right now, and I don't know what the fuck you talking about for real.
look it up on Google. It's just some shit in somebody's backyard. I mean, it's like the Watts Towers. It's just something some weird old dude did. And now that it's famous and people like it, is kind of the biggest fuck you to your neighbors.
Oh shit.
That's like if you had a pile of leaves in your front yard, you're like, nah, that's not me not picking that up. That's a compost earth sculpture. And
Yeah.
then like it just grew so big that eventually people had to take it seriously as a
Yeah.
piece of art because you were so good about pointing at it and being like, yeah, that's an earth sculpture. It makes a statement about how Detroit's been mishandled, and people are like, oh, good allegory. I guess we can't get rid of it.
You're right. So I guess we'll do something with it, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I've never seen that. But
Look it
yeah,
up. It's on Google Maps. Look it up on Google Maps. It's like legitimately you can see it just as an attraction point.
yeah.
But um,
If you get down to
but getting
cities
to
like, do you get down to cities like Portland or like, like the North California? Do you do stuff out there or?
yeah, to be quite honest, I like I put like I've been doing the Bay. I've been doing the Bay. I've been doing San Francisco. I've been doing Portland. Been doing Olympia. Like just about the entire West Coast. I've like put as a focus for a while, but I'm like really getting out to like smaller towns in
Yeah,
the Northeast and more of the Midwest has been like a recent goal of mine. Because getting to
yeah,
do small scenes when it's the only thing going on in town that night, it's
yeah.
so fucking cool. That
I
has
bet.
just such a different energy to like go to some like I fell in love with this tiny coffee house up in New Hampshire, and so I
Yeah.
like built going to do a show there for the better part of a year, and went up and did it like last year, and it was so fucking fun.
Are
But
there
like,
any so on the west? I mean, you've toured a lot, so you can pretty much say anywhere. I was gonna ask the West Coast, but like what are like those like hidden gem cities as far as comedy? Like it's like you might not expect it to have a to be dope, but it's dope.
I
Do you
mean,
have any cities
honestly,
like that?
Detroit was one of the places that was like
Mhm.
most swept away by. Just had such a fun time, like
Hell yeah,
seeing the like when it's scenes where people I mean like the even better thing is like in small scenes I really liked Pittsburgh. I really liked Chicago was a lot of fun too. I went up
yeah,
there and did a couple shows last year. I have friends in Chicago and that's been really rad. But Austin, Denver are two of the
I heard
best.
about Austin. Yeah, I've heard good things about those two scenes as well,
Like
especially Austin.
both both of those places, Austin especially. I've never been to a place where I was like, oh, I could live here.
Yeah,
Like, and, like it was just so fun. I like Houston for that reason too. I like a lot of Texas. Um, but yeah, I think like Denver or Austin are two of the best comedy cities in the country. You
Denver
could
and Denver.
some of those some of those shows are just so good. But um, Austin's the first place I'm gonna go to when this is as soon as I can.
Austin, Austin, Texas. So as soon as people stop getting sick and we can do 15 or more instead of 10 or more, we going to Austin and we're gonna do some.
And that's the thing that's cool about Austin is it's one of those places where it's warm enough that people just like do shit in their backyards.
Oh yeah.
So like there's no that's really what this is leading to. Like what we're gonna get is DIY shows
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
absolutely. All the time.
And
Yeah,
it's
gonna be people in their backyard and then
it's house shows. That's
yeah.
this summer is gonna be backyard shows and house shows. And then people putting it up on Zoom for whoever couldn't make it. Like
Right.
it's really going to revolutionize comedy. Like
Oh yeah.
it really takes apart all of these places that also like it's become clear what comedy clubs have treated their staff like shit. And like that
Yeah.
is so clear. And I think that um that's going to be so clear coming up here. And people who are just getting put up because they're regulars at a club have lost their
Yeah. That's dead
basically lost.
now. Yeah.
And people who did like do you know those you have comics in your scene like I'm not that I know I'm just saying like every scene has like some 40-year-old dude who's been doing the same 15 minutes for the last 20 years.
Oh yeah. I like 10 people
Good
that came to mind when you said that, dude. Yeah.
good luck with that this fall.
Yeah,
Like
right.
really good luck with everything you said happened last week but clearly wasn't. Like, oh, last week I was having sex with these 4 women. You're like, no, you weren't.
Nah, you aren't. Yeah, exactly.
All shuddering under blankets, masturbating to something. Like, it's not. Nobody's
It's like
like
your
none of
set
us.
is long gone, bro. Like we already know all this is bullshit.
We're gonna go to comedy shows with outdated comedians and just have a drinking game where you take a shot every time somebody says something that obviously
Yeah.
didn't happen last week because we just had pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like so I was on an airplane the other day. What was this like? No, you wasn't.
No, you. You know the big hassle. I love when people come through with they'll have a complaint about something, but then it'll be clearly from before a pandemic time. You're like,
Yeah.
isn't it worse? Don't you hate how thorough they think they're being at the airport? It's like, no, I mean, thorough enough, clearly.
Right. It's like, come on, bro. But do you feel? That's a good question. That leads me to a good question though. Do you feel like, once comedy does come back, do you feel like you have to like have bits about coronavirus and COVID-19 and whatnot?
I think
you gotta address it, kind of.
I think when you come back, I think if you're like just watch a couple people before you, like watch a person before you. If they're talking about it, don't talk about it. Like I think to a certain extent, like if you've traveled somewhere, you're like headlining a show, and I'm not a headliner. I just like again okay, I'm a headliner. Fine,
Okay,
fine.
you definitely headline shit out of the indies. So I don't know what I don't know what your definition of headliner is, but
it would be ridiculous not to mention the traveling there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're hearing your friend Phil do his jokes about COVID for the 18th time, but I think like we're seeing right now, people are putting out content that better addresses it in a more rad way on many different like people are making great art about it. This is like an amazing time for street art. Like, why would
Yeah.
I comment on COVID when there's like graffiti that's being put up like down the street that does a better job at like
Yeah, you know.
talking?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit
Um,
here and talk about how my mask make my nose feel weird when people are putting
right?
up real art about, you know what I mean, about real sickness. And yeah, I could.
I as a person who's working an essential job, I'd like try to take my mind off of things by playing podcasts. And to hear really rich people complain about having to stay home, getting to stay home, because like that's
It's insane.
like there's a vast difference between somebody said it on a podcast that like elicited the perfect way to say it, which is there's two ways to talk about it. There's have to stay home and there's get to stay home.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
like hearing the difference between those two is like, oh, that's why I can't stand when a comedian talks about how he got a paper map just in case the internet goes down. Or like, how many of your friends are suddenly like scholars on Spanish flu in 1918? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many like you can tell when a person has so little to do that they start coming up with conspiracy theories. I'm like, could you just
Oh.
come out as gay and be oppressed for the first time in your life?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
just
like
something.
it's like welcome. Yeah, welcome to oppression, yo. It sucks, but you'll get used to it. You know.
Like, I don't want to hear this. Like, I'm catching the bus to and
Right.
from. I'm catching the bus through all of this. And I'm like sitting next to dudes coughing on the bus. Like, I don't want to hear a podcast where a rich person has to complain about how they needed to wear a mask to go pick up kombucha. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. I have to wear a mask. What? I'm being stripped of my freedoms, and I'm just like, no, you're not. Just it's like wearing gloves. Can you see me? Hello, it says log. Hold on. Are we still here?
Yep, I can see.
I bet. All right. It's just fucking. But yeah,
But
yeah, it's ridiculous how people are like, I can't go to my summer home, you know, and it's just like, no, it'll still be there, just, you know, but
wait.
all you gotta
I,
do is wait, man.
I think like it's such an insult to people in rough cities when people are like, the world's going to end. I'm like, you just have like a smidge less privilege taken away from you, and suddenly the world's going to blow up.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, this COVID shit been good to me, man. I love it. I love it.
I'm like, I'm compromised, but I'm still an essential worker, so I'm just out, I guess just out doing it. And like, I can't even be in the same world of complaining that some of these people have, just because like, I don't know, like even before we had like all of this going on at my work, like we had somebody die of a stroke
Oh, wow.
so like the number of things I have on my plate, complaining about a mask is like 15th. So
Yeah, so somebody at your job was died, some of the
yeah,
vitamins.
I've had a couple of things. Yeah, this is like the things that people complain about on these podcasts are so like, I don't know. I'm thankful that a couple of them have been like, let's not talk about it. We both know this is weird.
Yeah. I kind of want to hear this podcast where is motherfuckers complaining about bullshit. What is it? Is it?
Oh no, it's just all of them.
Oh yeah, that's because.
Like I'll be listening as soon as it gets to it. I like turn it off. But yeah, getting to see like people stream shit online has been really great.
Yeah.
People really taking the power back in their hands to like make stuff, and it's kind of empowering. And I think that we're gonna get people not giving a shit about trying to like try to get a TV show or something after this. I think people are like, this is, I don't know. I think it's really shitty, and it's like I have a certain amount, like a great deal of privilege, especially to be in a place where like I have a job and everything. But at the same time, this is going to get rid of a lot of shitty comedy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, the quitting rate. Oh, I can't wait. I'm just like I'm watching people. I'm seeing people's Facebook statuses like this has been great. I don't want to do comedy anymore, and I'm like good. I'm like well, I'm gonna like that one. I'm gonna comment with the fire emoji, all that. Thank you for quitting comedy, yo. It was too many of us anyway. You know what I mean?
Looks like your name just went up a spot on an open mic
Oh,
list.
dude, yes. Let me tell you, I don't
It's
have to
like
be
that
here till
thing.
2 in the morning anymore. Thank you. I can be here from
It's,
till 1:30 now.
yeah, seeing somebody quit comedy during this is like seeing a name get scratched off on an open mic list. You're like, ah,
Oh,
I don't have to hear about that guy do his dick joke.
yeah, exactly. And I have to hear you talk about how you were at the airport the other day, even though you know your ass wasn't. It's beautiful. It's I like seeing people quit. I love seeing people quit. I love
I
it.
don't I mean I quit, so like I'm always on the edge of like quitting again, but like I like this is like
Nah,
getting
you at
into
the
new
point
shit.
now. You too good to quit. You can't. You know what I mean? It's like you already making a living from this. You
Stop,
touring,
keep
you
it
you
coming.
touring, you all on our live podcast. You know what
Stop,
I'm saying? You
stop,
this
keep it coming.
this independent comedy club. What you mean? You out here killing the motherfuckers, and you talking about I want to quit? Nope, it's too late now. Too late.
I mean
You're a
at this
comedy
point
essential worker right now.
I feel like any person who deals with any sort of like oppression after a certain point is going to have a better job like speaking to the struggles or the things we need to speak about because we already had all that on our minds anyway. I think
Absolutely,
anybody who's oppressed really um and
absolutely.
I mean already the like, people who don't have to struggle trying to make jokes is just ugh. There's not like something speaking to the core of some truth. It just like comes out. Um,
Really, dude.
but I'm happy that I'm doing more Zoom. I'm doing about as much. I have more work here than Louis C.K. has in his future. So
Well, there you
I
have it, yo. You out here working harder than CK.
I
So
was thinking about it today. Like I think we let these comics get canceled, right? And then like it sucks that they come back. I'm like, if they want to come back, they should have to take on a different name and move to a different place. It should be like witness protection. Can you
really,
imagine like Louis C.K. trying to do comedy and like I don't know.
yeah, his hair is like he's like a brunette and like he's
Yeah,
single.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
He
He's got a
can't use
toupee.
names. He
Yeah,
can't use
right.
comedy styles.
Instead
It's
of Louis
like,
C.K., he's like Larry AJ or something.
yeah, we have to. You get canceled when you come back. We assign you with a new kind of comedy you have to do.
Yeah.
Like, if every person who gets canceled has to come back doing prop comedy, that would.
You gotta do like Larry the Cable Guy from now on, yo. You could be like a hood comic, and then now you got to do the ventriloquist shit. What was the ventriloquist dude? I don't know.
Jeff Dunham.
Jeff
I
Dunham.
started. I started. To, I tried. I listened to Mark Maron give an interview of Jeff Dunham. I got like 20 seconds in, and I was just done. That dude's so shitty.
Dude, you can't listen to an interview of a dude that you know hates himself. You know what I mean? It's like you wouldn't be a ventriloquist if you didn't hate yourself like you know what I mean? Like it's like it is obvious that you don't like who you are as a person. So you're expressing yourself through through toys because
Yeah, any person who buys a ventriloquist doll should be put on a list.
oh
Like
absolutely.
I feel like that and a like that or anybody that buys like a any sort of like 12-string guitar, you have to like sign a waiver that you aren't going to play some shitty like a Led Zeppelin song for
Yeah.
12 hours for the rest of your life.
It's just
Just
like
120 seconds of it.
yeah, there's so many like just so many clues of people that just you obviously don't like yourself as a person. But whatever, to each his own, man. Whatever. You want to play your 19
Yeah, to
guitar or
each
whatever.
specifically his own. I don't. Yeah. I don't. I think this is going to burn off a lot of. I don't think any person who like has lived through any sort of struggle thinks about this whole this whole thing with the same set of eyes. I
Oh,
think
not at
almost
all.
I was like was I'm super worried about everything and super like worried all the time, but at the same time I'm just like I've dealt with something. I've always had something I had to deal with and
Right.
like uh I'm just coping and trying to help out people where you can. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's gonna wreck a lot of it's gonna burn off a lot of shitty comedians, to be quite honest. And like
And that's what, right? If it was the actual disease or just the quarantine from it, we getting rid of these. Yeah, you're getting rid of people. I
I
love
think I think also like what's gonna happen somebody's gonna like one of these shitty comics is gonna come back and have an arena show and then that's gonna get rid of
it.
all the comics that are in that arena and I can't I've never wanted Louis C.K. to come back more than right now.
I will say that. I will say that there are some comics that I have seen that weren't the greatest stand-ups, but now that like, we have to make more content for the internet, it's like you're kind of better at this, you know?
Yeah.
I've seen a few like that where it's like, okay, maybe you should stick to TikTok. You know what I mean? This you might have found your calling because some of these are like not the worst.
My friend lost her job, and then they or like a, a couple of friends of mine have like had more time on their hands and started getting into TikTok, and I can't like I guess I'm at an age where I know there's something that's not for me, and I think TikTok's one of them. And seeing my older friend comedians try to get into it, it seems like the weirdest
Oh, it's
millennial
sad.
mid. It's a midlife crisis.
Oh, dude, it's so sad. I just dropped a TikTok video today, and I felt miserable about it. I was just like, I did it. God damn it. I feel like an asshole.
You
It's like,
know, it if you make a TikTok, technically that counts as community service towards children. You should actually. I hear. I I think you can get paid by. I think you technically should get paid by a lot of people for babysitting.
yeah,
30 seconds at a time.
you should.
That's what
Some
that is.
dude commented on my video. I'm like, you are 11 years old, bro. Why did you open up? First off, how the fuck did you find my page? I got 11 followers, and then you are 11 years old. How did you get here? And I feel
It's
bad because like he comments like this is really good, and I feel like I'm supposed to comment back like thanks, but it's like I don't really want to talk to a dude that is young.
well, I mean, like it's. I mean, if your video does well enough, I mean, it sounds like you could get booked for a lot of children's birthday parties. Like, I think that, like, yeah, they're gonna be
They
like,
paying for it.
do that one thing you did, and you like
Yeah,
pick a book, then pull out a dollar bill, and they're like, that's so great, do it
right.
again.
Like they just literally want you to just relive 1 minute videos for 20 minutes. So it'll be
That's
really weird.
you
But
could be one of those people that gets brought on stage by people saying how many views their YouTube videos has gotten. Like
I've seen those people who
there's
just all your credits are your Instagram account. It's just like, all
it's
right, bro.
it's it's so funny. I mean,
It's
like
funny as hell.
I imagine somebody's being brought up by saying they're the creator of a hashtag. Um, you can't. I don't even. At the same time, if I had that many million views, I'd be like never shutting up about it.
Yeah, some people just randomly blow up, and I will say this, because I put some videos out on like TikTok or whatever, but I didn't just ask, hey, don't stop judging, all right? So
Oh, I went to your Facebook page and I was trying to get like,
stop.
do I know EJ?
This ain't
And then I
this
went
ain't
to your Facebook page and I'm like, he's got a vibe. He's got a
that's the first today was the first like TikTok video I put out where I like told people I had a TikTok. But the other ones I just kind of put on there just to like, just put on TikTok. I didn't tell nobody about it. I just had the account and then the videos on there. And some
oh
of those
suddenly you don't have shame about being on TikTok and being
Listen,
30?
hear me out. Hear me out. So, what I was trying to say was that, like even though, like, you know, for 12, you're judging like a motherfucker right
No,
now.
no, 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 please, please.
But no, listen, I got like literally like 13 followers on there, like literally 13, and like, but some of those videos have done hundreds of, like, are doing views like my Instagram accounts is doing. You know what I mean? And it's like I have 13
You know how many views your Instagram account is getting versus your TikTok account?
I be looking. Shit, we ain't got shit else to do. Motherfucker, I'm in this shit.
True, true.
I can look at my Instagram and my bogus ass TikTok account and be like, damn, this shit got 300 views and I ain't tell nobody about it. Seriously, I didn't tell nobody about this video that I just posted on TikTok, and it has like 300 and something views, dude. I like, and then that was the part where it made me realize, I was like, maybe like it sucks, but I might have to use this shit, yo.
I can't wait till you're like, coming up next. You might have seen him from the mustard up the butt to a hashtag EJ, hashtag the hashtag comedy Watson hashtag.
The guy who had a whole head of lettuce in one of his videos where it was just like, all right.
You come at, I got the name of your first album. Hashtag rules everything around me. Hate stream.
Whatever. Like I said, stop judging me for my damn TikTok. Right? This is my first like video ever, yo. It was sad. I was depressed when I dropped that bitch, yo. It was depressing. Hitting send on a TikTok, that was depressing. And then sharing it to Instagram.
You look like you're on your way to your kitchen to get something to drink now that you realized you're 30 on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh goddamn. I'm the old dude at the club now. You know what I mean? Now I'm just the dude trying to hit on all the young chicks, and it's just like, this is sad. This is sad, sir.
I do believe I can't imagine that there's probably gonna. Is there restraining orders for TikTok? Like, are people
put an
like
age limit on it?
And they're not allowed near TikTok either?
They might. Well, shit, I gotta be up there. I gotta be close. You know what I mean? 30 is up there for TikTok age. That's a dinosaur.
I feel I hear that if you're caught as being a threat to children, you have to stay 1,000 views away from TikTok. And you have to and you do that by going where there's no children. So
yeah. I gotta introduce myself like a child molester, like to everybody who follow me. Like, hi, I'm EJ, I'm 30 years old.
You have to tell your followers that you're 30?
Yeah. I am 30, just so you know. So
I would say that you know how actors already lie about their age. You're lying about your age by being on TikTok.
Yeah. Hey, look, whatever, man. Black. Hopefully, my black ain't cracking, so I can stay on TikTok as long as I can. Yeah.
You got to shave off your gray hairs before you do.
I do, man. It's hard. Yeah, I can't get no haircut because of COVID. But this this live about to end soon. Andy, this has been incredible. Thank you for joining the Independent Comedy Club. Thanks for joining me. You got some shit you want to plug? You want to plug some of them dick vitamins you selling or anything?
Listen, it's called horny goat weed.
Hey, there you go. Shout out to horny goat weed and ginkgo biloba. You know what I mean?
I didn't say that one.
No.
You did.
It works.
If you follow me, you know, I'm just at Andy Iwancio. I do 2 DJ mix shows on Saturday and Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific. So it'd probably be like, I think it's 7 to 9 East Coast and somewhere in between for y'all. I'm sorry, I don't know Central.
I don't know what kind of time you on. You on Pacific, Western, Eastern, Central time. I don't know. But yeah. Oh, Rafiq asked. First off, shout out to Rafiq. Uh, who else in here? Joe. What's up, Kaylin Check? I don't know. Kevin Jokes. Key. What's up? Luda Surgeon. What's up? Kelly Key Roy. Everybody. Thanks for coming out. Brianna Detroit. They want to know where they can find your music at. Is there anywhere they can? Is there anywhere you wanna